Good morning, students. So, in the last class, we discussed regarding packing efficiency of crystal lattices. That is, the packing efficiency of simple cubic lattice, body-centered cubic lattice, and face-centered cubic lattice. In the previous, before that, we discussed regarding calculation of number of particles and all those. Let us in brief the total regarding simple cube, BCs and FCC, whatever we discussed till now, I'll give in the form of a table here. Number of lattice points. So what is the number of lattice points in simple cube? Number of lattice points in simple cube is 8. That is 8 corners. Number of lattice points in BCC is 9. That is 8 corners and 1 body center. Number of lattice points in FCC lattice, which is equal to 14. That is 8 corners and 6 face centers. This is regarding number of lattice points in each type of unit cell. Second one, number of particles in unit cell. Also in unit cell. Then what is the number of particles present in unit cell? That means what is the contribution of the particles of these systems? Right. So as we calculate already, in case of simple cubic lattice, we got only 1 particle present in the unit cell. Whereas in case of BCC, 2 particles present in the unit cell. For FCC, 4 particles are present in the unit cell. This is the number of particles present in unit cell. And third one, coordination number. Coordination number. So what is the coordination number of simple cubic lattice? 6. Each particle is surrounded by 6 nearest neighboring particles. Whereas in case of BCC, coordination number is 8. For FCC, coordination number is 12. So this is regarding coordination number of the constituent particles in simple cube, BCC and FCC lattice. Next, a relation between A and R. What is A here? A is nothing but edge length of the unit cell. R is the radius of the constituent particle. See, this we derived already in packing efficiency of the lattices. The first step in the calculation of packing efficiency of lattice is nothing but the determination of relation between edge length and radius of the particle. So in case of simple cubic lattice, the relation is R is equal to A by 2. Radius R is equal to A by 2. In case of BCC, R is equal to root 3A by 4. And one more, for FCC, R is equal to A by 2 root 2. This is the relation what we derived in packing efficiency. So this is the relation between edge length and radius of the constant particles. Next, one more. Relation between nearest neighbors and edge length. So the relation between nearest neighbor and distant neighbor is nothing but represented by the symbol D, and edge length is A. So what is this nearest neighbor distance? Still now we didn't discuss that. Just here I'll tell you. See, if take 2 constant particles in a lattice, the distance between the nucleus of the two nearest particles, this is known as d. Whether these two may be or may not be in contact with each other. Suppose like this also this may present, whatever it may be. The distance between the nucleus of the two nearest neighboring particles, that is called as nearest neighboring distance. Relation with nearest neighboring distance and edge length. So this nearest neighbor is represented by the symbol d and edge length is a symbol we use commonly. See, generally the distance between the nearest neighbors means we should take the particles which are in contact with each other. So when two particles in contact with each other, that will be the nearest neighboring distance, and this is nothing but equal to 2r. This is one radius and this is one radius. So simply the relation between nearest neighboring distance and radius, this is radius r. So the relation between nearest neighboring distance and radius is nothing but d is equal to r, nothing but just double the radius, we can get the nearest neighboring distance. So the distance between the two particles which are in contact with each other, that is the nearest neighboring distance, which is equal to 2 times of the radius of the constrained particle. Now here d is equal to, so just double this, we can get a. Then here d is equal to double this, root 3a by 2, and here d is equal to a by root 2. These are the nearest neighboring distances. So double the radius is nothing but nearest neighboring distance. Next, packing fraction. So packing fraction in terms of pi, this is nothing but pi by 6. This also we calculate in packing efficiency, the last but one step in packing efficiency. So the packing efficiency, that is packing fraction, is nothing but equal to pi by 6 for simple cubic lattice. Packing percentage, now see next one. Percentage volume occupied. And next one, vacant space. Right. So packing fraction is pi by 6 for simple cube, and this if you multiply with 100, then we can get a packing efficiency in terms of percentage. There is nothing but 52.4 percentage. Approximately we can take it as 52 percentage, no problem. So the percentage volume occupied is nothing but 52 percentage. Then what is the wide space here? Right. So 52% volume is occupied, then wide space will be 48%. So 48% wide space is present in simple cubic lattice. Okay, right. Now come to BCC lattice. So in case of BCC lattice, the packing fraction is equal to root 3 pi by 8. The packing fraction of BCC lattice is root 3 pi by 8. This also came in BCC packing efficiency calculation. And here the volume occupied is 68% volume is occupied. Then wide space is 32% space is present in case of BCC lattice. Okay, next. What is the packing fraction of FCC lattice? In case of FCC lattice, the packing fraction is equal to root 3 pi by 2. Root 3 pi by 2. Sorry. this is root 2 pi by 6 or pi by 3 root 2. Yes. So in case of FCC lattice, the packing efficiency is root 2 pi by 6. So that root 2 pi by 6, otherwise pi by 3 root 2. Dust. Nice one. By dust. Right, then what is the packing efficiency here? Packing efficiency is 74% and this is 26%. So this is regarding total information about simple cubic lattice, BCC lattice and FCC lattice, whatever discussed in last 2-3 classes. Number of lattice points, number of particles in unit cell, coordination number, calculation of number of particles in unit cell, relation between edge length and the radius of the constrained particles, and then the nearest neighboring distance, packing fraction, there is a percentage volume occupied by the constrained particles, and minus packing fraction use the vacant space. Now, so among these, the order of packing efficiency is FCC greater than, BCC greater than simple cubic lattice. Now here, based on these two relations, there is a relation between radius and edge length as well as density and edge length. Based on this, the problems they are asking. Okay, right. Now let us see just calculation of number of particles HCP lattice I'll tell you here right now, because it's not there in a PUC syllabus, but in objective exam they're asking questions here based on this. So what is the number of particles present in HCP lattice, hexagonal close packing lattice? Just here, first I'll take the diagram here. This is one hexagon. This is one more hexagon. Now if we join these two, the similar positions, this is hexagon. So what is the position of the constrained particle series? If you take one hexagon, at the center of hexagon one particle, here this is surrounded by 6 particles, as we discussed, two-dimensional hexagonal close packing like this. Okay, now here above this the particles are present at voids. What type of voids are covered in hexagonal close packing? Tetrahedral voids are covered. So here alternate tetrahedral voids are covered like this, 3 particles. Means here one particle will come, here one particle will come, and here one particle will come. Means this void is covered here, this void is vacant, again this void is covered, this void is here void will come, this void is vacant, and this void is covered, again this void is vacant. So means out of 6 tetrahedral voids, only alternate tetrahedral voids are covered here by 3 particles. Above this hexagon, same position will be there as it is like this. This is the arrangement of particles in a hexagonal close packing. Okay. Now, what is the contribution of the particles? See, if we extend this, then what type of arrangement will get here now? Like this. That means what the particle present here, this particle is in contact with how many hexagons here? 1, 2 and 3. So one particle in one plane is in contact with 3 hexagons. Okay, and within the plane, the lower plane, it is in contact with three other hexagons. Means like this, the arrangement is there. Here a particle is there. So within the plane, this is in contact with three hexagons like this. Like this. And above this plane, it is also in contact with one more three hexagons. That means the particle which is present at the corner of hexagon is in contact with three unit cells within the plane and three unit cells above the plane or any below the plane, anyone. So the particle present at the corner of hexagon is shared with 6 hexagonal unit cells. Then each unit cell should get a share of 1 by 6. Okay. Now I'll calculate the particles for this hexagon. See now here. Now there are 6 corner particles are there, plus 1 face center particle is there. For a hexagon, not for cube this is. Okay. Now what is the contribution of this corner particle? Contribution of corner particle is 1 by 6th, because the corner particle is shared with the 6 unit cells. Then 6 into 1 by 6. 6 into 1 by 6 plus 1 face center. See, in any unit cell, face center particle is shared with the 2 other unit cells, common this is. Then now, so 1 into 1 by 2. Total we can get a 1.5 particle. Means in this phase, we got a 1.5 particles contributed to the unit cell. Similarly, this also if you take, here also you can get 1.5 particles as the same here also like this only. Here also 6 corners plus 1 face center. So contribution of this face is 1.5. Still, between these two planes, 3 particles are present in the tetrahedral void. See, the particle present in the tetrahedral void will not share with any other unit cells, because tetrahedral voids are present within the unit cells, inside the unit cell. So these 3 particles are not shared with any other unit cells. So these are the 3 tetrahedral voids. So the contribution of these 3 is 3 into 1, which is equal to 3. Therefore, total number of particles present in unit cell present in unit cell is, in this plane we have 1.5 particle, here 3 particles, again 1.5 particles in this plane, then total how much? 6. So hexagonal close packing lattice contains 6 particles present in the unit cell. Then what is the total number of lattice points? See here, 6 plus 1, 7. Here 7 lattice points, here 3 and here 7. Total 17 lattice points will be there. Lattice points 17, but the number of particles present in the unit cell is 6. Total 7. Within this hexagon, in this plane, at the 6 corners 6 particles are present. At the face center 1 particle is present. Within the plane, a corner particle is shared with 3 unit cells. In the 2 planes, the corner particle is shared with 6 unit cells. So each unit cell should get a share of 1 by 6. So 6 corners, 6 into 1 by 6. A face center particle is shared with only 2 unit cells. Then each unit cell should get a share of 1 by 2. So 1 into half, 1 by 2, total 1.5 particles are present in the unit cell. Now come to this. Same as it is here also, 1.5 particle is present. Now these 3 particles are occupying tetrahedral voids. They will not share with any other unit cells. So the total particle belongs to unit cell only. Now the contribution of particles is 1.5 in the upper plane, 3 in the tetrahedral voids, 1.5 in the lower plane. Total number of particles in unit cell is 6. This is the calculation of number of particles in HCP lattice. So this calculation not required for PUC. In objective for solving questions, this will be useful. Okay. No. And one more important concept, calculation of density of the crystal lattice. This is very important one. Every year they are asking a problem based on this density. This is compulsory question every year. Calculation of density of crystal lattice. Right. So calculation of density of the crystal lattice, any lattice, either it may be cubic or tetragonal or rhombic, monoclinic, triclinic, any lattice, the same relation we'll use. So as you know, density is equal to, what is the formula? Density D is equal to mass by volume. Okay. Now just here, consider a unit cell with a edge length A, any unit cell, whatever it may be. So in our syllabus, we will calculate for a cubic system, that's all. Okay, and let the A is the edge length of the unit cell, and let the mass of each constituent particle, let the mass of each constituent particle is small m. Small m is the mass of each particle. Atomic mass is capital M. Capital M is the atomic mass of the constituent particle, and later the number of particles, let the number of particles in unit cell is Z. So these are the terms what we are going to use in the derivation. Let us consider an unit cell whose edge length is A. Let the mass of each particle is M, small m, and atomic mass of that element is capital M, and the number of particles present in the unit cell is Z. Okay. So as you know, density is equal to mass by volume. So what is the volume of unit cell? Volume of unit cell. So I am going to take a cubic system. So as per our syllabus, we will discuss regarding cubic system only. What is the volume of the cubic unit cell? Is equal to A cube. This is for cubic system. Other than cubic system, if you take Kendra system, take the formula of corresponding unit cell or system. So volume of the unit cell is equal to A cube. Okay, right. So here we require mass of Z particles. Unit cell contains Z particles. Mass of each particle is M. So mass of each particle is not possible for us to remember. Okay, so that I am going to convert in terms of atomic mass. So here, as we know that atomic mass of substance contains how many particles? Avogadro number of particles. That Avogadro number is the symbol Na. Na is Avogadro number of particles. So atomic mass of a substance contains Na atoms. Okay, what is atomic mass? M. So M grams m grams of substance contains Na number of atoms. Okay, then let us calculate mass of one atom. Then mass of one atom is equal to how much? So mass of one atom is equal to, so 1 into m by Na. This is mass of one atom. Therefore, mass of Z atoms, mass of Z atoms is equal to Z into m by Na. This is the mass of Z atoms. So first we have taken volume of the unit cell, and then we have calculated the mass of one atom first. As you know, atomic mass of substance contains Avogadro number of atoms, standard relation this is. Then what is the mass of one atom? So mass of one atom is 1 into m by Na. That is m by Na. This is the mass of one atom. So therefore, mass of one atom is m by Na. Then what is the mass of Z atoms? Z into m by Na. Now, yes, I'll write here. From this volume and mass, we'll calculate density. As we know that density is equal to mass by volume. So density symbol D. What is mass we got here? Zm by Na. So this is Zm by Na into volume. Volume is nothing but A cube. Now this is the relation for a density of a crystal lattice, cubic lattice. Okay, see once again briefly. Consider a cubic unit cell. Let us take cubic unit cell here. Consider a cubic unit cell with edge length A. Let the mass of each constituent particle is small m, and the atomic mass of the element is capital M. Let the number of particles present in unit cell is Z. The value of Z is nothing but for simple cube 1, for BCC 2, for FCC is 4. Fixed values these are. For simple cube Z is equal to 1, for BCC Z is equal to 2, for FCC Z is equal to 4. Right. First I am going to calculate the mass of one atom of the element from the atomic mass. As you know, gram atomic mass of substance contains Avogadro number of atoms. Then what is the mass of one atom? M by Na. Then mass of Z atoms is Zm by Na. So this is the mass and this is the volume A cube. Now from this volume and mass we will calculate density. Density is equal to mass by volume. So mass is Zm by Na, which is nothing but Avogadro number. What is the value of Na? Where Na is nothing but 6.023 into 10 power 23. This is fixed standard value. Okay, right. So now by this relation we can calculate density of the lattice. Based on this direct problem they are asking, no more application. Density Z M edge length. Suppose if you the lattice name simple cube BCC or FCC, Z value come to know 1, 2 or 4. Then what is other than that? Density, atomic mass, edge length. Out of these three, they are giving any two values, we have to calculate third value. Sometimes instead of giving edge length, they are giving radius. So first from the radius, we should calculate edge length. Right now we discuss relations edge length and A. First from the radius, we should calculate edge length. Now from the edge length, we will calculate either atomic mass or density what is required. Most frequent in PUC they are asking directly, no more applications. D, M or A. Calculation of any one of these they are asking. Z value is fixed. Avogadro number is fixed. Lattice name they will give. So simple multiplication and divisions if you do, you will get the answer. Okay. So this is compulsory question. Every year they are asking a problem for 2 marks from this density calculation. Okay. Right. This is about calculation of density of the crystal lattice. Okay, right. Problems later will solve based on all this. Now let us see, we'll go for next one. So this derivation they are not asking in PUC examination. The problem based on this density calculation they are asking. So no need to practice the derivation part, just solve the problems based on that. That's enough. Right. So one more concept I'll take a radius ratio. Okay, so radius ratio. So this concept is also required for objective only, not for PUC. In PUC syllabus, this is not there, but they are asking some questions in objective examination. So what is meant by this radius ratio? So if you take a crystal lattice, if the crystal lattice is formed by two or more different types of particles, for example, take NaCl. So it consists of Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, in that Na plus is smaller than compared to Cl minus. Like that, if a lattice is formed by two or more different types of particles whose size is different, then depending on the concept of radius ratio, we can predict the type of lattice, or we can predict the coordination number of the lattice. Okay, so then what is radius ratio? Let us see first. See, in any lattice, if two different types of particles are there, then among that, which is the larger particle? The larger particle forms the basic crystal lattice, and the smaller particles occupy the voids, means gaps between the large particles. Okay, for example, take NaCl. In NaCl, Cl minus is larger and Na plus is smaller. NaCl has a face-centered cubic lattice known as FCC. Means that in NaCl, Cl minus ions Fc forms FCC lattice. That is, Cl minus ions occupy corners and face centers. Then the Na plus ions occupies the octahedral voids. Okay, so if a lattice contains two or more different types of particles, among that, which is having large size, that forms the basic crystal lattice, which is smaller, those particles occupies the voids of the lattice of bigger particles. Okay, now in that, if you measure the ratio of radius of small particle to the radius of large particle, this ratio is nothing but called as radius ratio. The ratio of small particle to large particle. In other words, we can say that the radius of cation to radius of anion. This is when the radius of anion is larger than radius of cation. Okay, right. So the ratio of radius of cation to anion, otherwise the ratio of the radius of small particle to large particle. So this ratio is called as radius ratio. So based on this radius ratio, we can predict the coordination number, as well as we can predict what type of voids are occupied by the constrained particles. Now let us see. First one. If the radius ratio is less than 0.155, radius ratio, coordination number, and lattice what is formed. Okay, right. If the radius ratio is less than 0.155, if the radius ratio is less than 0.155, then the coordination number of the particles is 2. Okay, and then this is nothing but a linear, means the particles are in contact with one another in linear shape. Okay, next, If the radius ratio means radius of cation to anion or small particle to large particle, if radius ratio lies in between 0.155 is less than radius of cation by radius of anion, which is less than 0.225, then coordination number is 3. Means from 0.155 to less than 0.225, then coordination number is 3 and the lattice forms a trigonal planar. Means just I'll show. These are the 3 particles which are in contact with one another. Right here. These are the 3 particles which are in contact with each other. Now between these 3, some empty space is there, which is called as void, triangular void. This is. Now in this void, if a particle is occupied, now let's take this one. This is the radius of large particle capital R, and this is the radius of the small particle, which is nothing but this is smaller. Now if you find the ratio of small r by capital R, and that is equal to 0.155, you can get. Means the radius of small particle to radius of large particle is equal to 0.155 or more than that. Means minimum value. Minimum 0.155 is there. Then the void is nothing but triangular void. If less than 0.155 is there, that is linear shape only. Now let us see. These 3 particles are arranged in the shape of triangle only, but not in contact with each other. Now this is the particle. Now this is capital R, and from here to here this is small r. Now the maximum size of means maximum ratio of small r by capital R is equal to 0.225, means less than that, means up to 0.224 we can consider this. Minimum size of means minimum radius is r by r, small r by capital R is 0.155, maximum value is 0.225. If more than this is the radius ratio, then again crystal lattice shape changes. So if the radius ratio means radius of a small particle to radius of large particle lies in between 0.155 to 0.225, then that small particle is in contact with the 3 nearest neighboring particles. That means its coordination number is 3. Okay, right. Next, if the radius ratio lies in between 0.225 is less than radius of cation by radius of anion is less than 0.414, then coordination number is 4. Coordination number is 4 means what is the shape? Tetrahedral. Okay, means that if a particle is present, 3 particles are present here like this, 1 particle is present over like this, then what the void space is there? Actually these 4 are present like this, tetrahedron shape. Just a minute. This is, that means this is one large sphere, this is one large sphere, this is one large sphere, here one large sphere is there. Now what the void space is there? This is called as tetrahedral void, what we discussed in the previous class by taking cubic system. Okay, now the minimum size of means minimum radius of this particle means minimum radius ratio of this particle is 0.225 means radius of small ion by radius of large ion. Means that in case of tetrahedral void, the radius of the small particle is equal to 0.225 times that of capital R. This is the formula. What is the radius of the particle which occupying the tetrahedral void is equal to 0.225 times of the larger particle radius. This is minimum value. What is the maximum value? 0.414. If the size is like this, 0.225 R is there, exactly that will get a tetrahedron shape. In tetrahedron void, the particle is occupied. If the size radius ratio is increased than this, then we can get expanded tetrahedron structure. Means these four particles are not in contact. They are having tetrahedron shape but apart from each other. That is called expanded tetrahedron structure. That is possible up to the radius ratio less than 0.414. So if the radius ratio lies in between 0.225 to 0.414, then the coordination number will be 4 and the lattice type is tetrahedral void. An example for this is zinc sulfide. The crystal lattice zinc sulfide is having tetrahedral voids. Means here sulfide forms basic lattice. In the tetrahedral voids, Zn plus 2 ions will occupy. Later I will show this in by taking diagram all clearly. I will explain. Next, if radius ratio lies in between 0.414 is less than radius of cation by radius of anion less than 0.732. Means if the radius of cation means a small particle to radius of large particle is equal to 0.414, then the particle occupy octahedral void. What is octahedron shape? This is octahedron shape. Means at the four corners of the square, four particles will be there. Above this, one particle. Below this, one particle. Then what the void space is there? This is the void space. That is called as octahedron void. 4 in the plane, above the plane 1 point, below the plane 1 point. Then what the void space between these 6 spheres? That is called octahedral void. Now the radius of the particle occupying this octahedral void is small r is equal to 0.414 r. This is for tetrahedral voids and this is for octahedral voids. So if a lattice is having exactly octahedron, means all particles, 6 particles are in contact here with each other, then what the void space is there, that void space will be occupied by a constant particle having radius 0.414 times that of the basic lattice radius. So radius of the particle which occupying the octahedral void is 0.414 times of radius of the large particle. Okay, so if the radius ratio lies in between 0.414 to 0.732, then the coordination number is 6. See, within the square 4, above the plane 1, below the plane 1, coordination number is 6. Now this is called octahedral void. If radius ratio lies in between these two, the small particles occupy octahedral voids. Next, if lies in between 0.732 less than radius of cation by radius of anion less than 1, then the coordination number will be 8. That is called as a cubic void. Let us see what the cubic void is. Cubic void means nothing but a BCC lattice, simply called as. See, in BCC lattice, 8 particles are present at the 8 corners. 1 particle is present at body center. Now the radius of this particle is 0.732 r means cubic void will be occupied when our radius of small particle is 0.732 capital R. Means nothing but that is BCC lattice. So if a crystal forms BCC lattice, then the cubic void will be occupied by a particle having the radius 0.732 of large particles. So this is regarding a radius ratio, means the radius of small particle to large particle, or the radius of cation to radius of anion. Depending on this radius ratio, we can predict the coordination number and the type of the lattice. Actually, how these values are obtained? There are derivation for each type of voids: triangular void, tetrahedral void, octahedral void. For all these derivations are there, not included in the syllabus, even not necessary also. Just remember these ranges, that's all. Based on this radius ratio range, we can predict what type of lattice it forms. Now see, for example, if you take this octahedral void, this is formed by NaCl, NaCl having this type of lattice, and cubic, this is having a CaCl, cesium chloride is having this type of lattice. Okay, for example, radius ratio of a crystal lattice is equal to 0.54. This is radius of cation by radius of anion, let us assume. If the radius ratio of a lattice is 0.54, then what type of lattice it is? What is the coordination number? What is the given value? 0.54. Now this 0.54 lies in this range, see there? 0.414 to 0.732. That means the constant particles, that is the smaller particles occupying octahedral voids, and the coordination number is 6. And what I give the value, this is for NaCl only. This is the radius ratio of NaCl. Nothing but radius of Cl minus by radius of Na plus is equal to 0.54. So this is important for objective point of view, not required for PUC examination. See once. So radius ratio means the ratio of radius of cation to radius of anion, or the ratio of radius of small particle to large particle. That ratio is called radius ratio. Depending on the radius ratio values, we can predict the coordination number and types of voids occupied by the particles. As I said earlier, the basic lattice will be formed by larger particles. Smaller particles will occupy the voids of the basic lattice. Less than 0.155, coordination number 2, geometry linear. 0.155 to 0.225, coordination number 3, it is trigonal planar. Next 0.225 to 0.414, coordination number 4, tetrahedral void occupied. 0.414 to 0.732, coordination number 6, and octahedral void will be occupied. 0.732 up to 1, it is coordination number 8, and then here cubic void will be occupied. So this is about a radius ratio. Okay. Right. Calculation of molecular formula of a compound. Calculation of molecular formula of a compound. Just one example I explained today. Remaining tomorrow we'll discuss. Okay, just see one example. And based on this also they're asking questions in object examination almost every year. Let us see one simple question I'll ask. In a crystal, the atoms of A occupy corners of the cube. And atoms of B occupy all face centers. And atoms of C occupy body center. What is the molecular formula? This is a simple question, and even some applications also there. Those applicative questions in tomorrow class we'll discuss. Now let us see this first one. So in a crystal, the atoms of A, B, C, three types of atoms are there in a compound. Atoms of A occupy corners, and atoms of B occupy all face centers, and atoms of C occupies body center. Then what is the molecular formula? So means here, like this, if the question, first we should calculate the number of atoms of all types of particles. By representing them, we can get the molecular formula. Now see, first I will calculate number of atoms of A. Number of atoms of A in unit cell is equal to, so the given lattice is cubic lattice. What is the position of A? A occupies corners. So 8 corners are occupied by atoms of A. Then what is the contribution of corner? 1 by 8. So 8 into 1 by 8, which is equal to 1. So number of atoms of A in unit cell is 1. Okay, A atoms is 1. Now I'll go for calculating atoms of B. What is the position of B? Atoms of B occupies all face centers. So number of atoms of B in the unit cell is equal to 6 face center. A cube contains how many faces? 6 faces. So 6 face centers. 6 face centers are there. 6 into contribution of each face center is 1 by 2. So 6 into 1 by 2, 3. So number of atoms of B in unit cell is 3. Now I'll go for number of atoms of C. So what is the position of C? Atoms of C occupies body center. So now number of atoms of C in the unit cell is equal to, C occupies only one body center. What is the contribution of body center? Contribution of body center is 1. So 1 into 1, which is equal to 1. Therefore, molecular formula is equal to A. How many atoms of A is there? A1. How many atoms of B is there? 3. B3. Atoms of C is 1. C1. That means the compound formula is AB3C. This is the molecular formula of the compound. Okay. See once. So here in the lattice, atoms of A are present at the corners. Since a cube contains 8 corners and the contribution of each corner is 1 by 8, then 8 into 1 by 8, 1 will get. Next, atoms of B are present at face centers. 6 face centers are there for a cube. So contribution of each face center is 1 by 2. So 6 into 1 by 2, 3. Atoms of C are present at the body center. Only one body center will be there. Its contribution also 1. So 1 into 1, 1. So A1, B3, C1. So number 1, that 1 no need to represent, will represent the molecular formula as AB3C. This is a simple question. So like this, some other models are there. In the tomorrow class, we'll discuss regarding this determination of molecular formula of a compound. Okay, thank you.